Hey, everybody, B2B Morning Zoo with Nate and Jay. Welcome back to the show. Nate, I'm super pumped today. I'm super,
Um,
super pumped.
that was my first question. I didn't know whether it was excitement or a blistering hangover, but what's the occasion,
Ooh,
mister?
a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, but I'm going to make a ton of money off these short ribs that I'm holding on to.
Did you did you say short ribs?
Yeah, man. Ribs. So I'm on Reddit a lot, and someone on there said that you can make a ton of money in short ribs right now. So I bought every rib I could afford, and when the price goes up, I'm gonna sell them and make a load of money.
It was short sells, my friend, not short ribs.
What's a short sell?
It's like when people buy and hold stuff like the GameStop ticker GME and really over the hedge funds and Wall Street. The gains on that one have been incredible.
So it's not ribs. All right, hang on.
Yeah.
Fake French accent here. All right. Nate, I think I'm good to go now.
The only question is, how many ribs did you buy?
I had about $50,000 worth of equity in my house, so I took out a second on the mortgage. I bought a
Does
lot of
Hedgehog know about this? Because she looks pretty happy at the beginning of the show.
No, be quiet. No, shush. No, she doesn't know that. I'm gonna surprise her when I make all this money, dude. I dumped the ribs though. I drove over to Applebee's and they wanted them all. I got rid of the ribs, and luckily I was in the same like shopping center. There was a GNC there, like you were saying. So I went in and I bought a ton of that weight gain powder. Dude, I'm gonna get so many gains from hanging on to this GNC stuff. It's gonna be amazing. What? Dude, you got to get in on this.
Okay, so I think we're going to have an upcoming episode on financial literacy
Yeah.
for the purposes of freaking Muppet, who I co-host this show with. Who now? How much weight gain powder? Just and where do you keep it? And how did you find the person at one Applebee's that had the buying power, the decision authority? They didn't have to call the mothership. You just what was the sales cycle like there?
Well, I took a
Idiot.
loss. I mean, I'm gonna I took a loss. I'm not gonna say how much, but I was still able to fill the trunk of my car with weight gain powder. So it's on.
Yeah, because all I was picturing was like a cartoon of you like driving home in your car whistling, and there's just like gigantic L's just bulging out of the rear window. Well, yeah. Well, as you know, it's always fun and adventurous
Yeah.
trading for yourself and trying to screw the man and finding out that it's a fun fable until the big players actually notice you're doing it. Then they realize that it's not for you. They like their looting nice and orderly.
I know. You know what I'm going to do is with all this money I'm going to get, I think I'm going to start a company that makes nothing but portable guillotines. And then when this is all said and done, we drive out to New York and we have a little party.
How many?
Oh, I don't know. How many do you think I could buy with all this money?
Well, I don't know much about your supply chain or your throughput, but I'm just picturing like if you lined up 20 up side by side, how many? This is a blood curdling tale. This is one of those things I'm like, what's this person made of? And I'm going from memory. So if people actually have historical data accurately stored in their head, I apologize. But supposedly in the World War II era, when Soviet Union and Nazi Germany were in the middle of drilling Poland in the butt and the mouth simultaneously, there was a single NKVD officer who personally executed something like 7,000 Polish officers in like one sitting.
Oh my God.
Just like in a room with a bunch of pistols, and somebody's job was to keep the pistols loaded. Somebody would walk him in, put him in a chair, through the head, out the other side into the trench, next. And I guess he did it for like 24 or 36 hours straight.
Just execution assembly line.
What do you do at the end of that shift? Be like, I'm ready for some ribs.
We'll head on down to Applebee's.
Sounds like a deal.
All right. Coming back, Nate is gonna school us on the evolution of content marketing and how it needs to change again.
Hi, welcome back to the second and final segment. We just are flying without a guest, although we have a bunch of really interesting people stacked up on the runway, ready to take content flight. And speaking of content, that's what the subject of today's sermon and platforming of the worthy is all about.
Tell me more, Mr. Warren.
Tell me more, tell me more. Does he have SEO? One of the reasons that, I don't know about you, Jason, that drives me to this microphone is my general boredom on the drivel being posted, not only on LinkedIn, but corporate blogs everywhere where you hope to be able to read something cool and you realize it's wasting your time.
As a recruiter, I spent probably 95% of my day on LinkedIn just looking at mostly profiles and staying away from my feed for that exact reason.
Yep, and that's good reason. Although I want to shine the spotlight on lately what I see as a new breed of standouts in terms of content. And these are people or companies that I've been begging that are doing things and building their whole marketing processes around things that I've been begging some of my other clients to do for years. But they're even better because they're operating at the locus, the overlap of really good copywriting and disciplined, creative digital marketing research and dedicated niching. I just want to get right into and the reason why is because after kind of being burnt out and frankly demoralized by most content, it's interesting. I was like, hey, I'm going to stop and read this. Why? And here's what I see as the why between why these people and these companies are doing something interesting. Now, this is an anecdotal survey. I don't have metrics behind this, but I do think I have a pretty good finger in the wind here. Two people come to mind, and for no other reason than when I'm scrolling through stuff every day and by the way, all you self-promoters out there, if you've won something or done something and you're really that humbled, that's the essence of humility. Otherwise, just say you're proud to announce. I'll believe you. Anyway, John Bonini of DataBox and Josh Spilker of
growthcontent.io
are two people I started noticing a different and better current in content because I'd always stop and read their posts, and you'll see a theme here, and that is the new breed of content marketers almost always put reader value first, and you can tell it hasn't, and they have a personality, a point of view, not afraid to be human, but the posts are also substantive. They say, here's a new trick or tip to try, or here's a new perspective, or here's a flaw in thinking that sometimes trips people up. What do you think? That's the essence is of thinking about your reader first when you write this stuff. Second, and I discovered this under the roof of a different client about 5 years ago, is if you are not subscribing to the Hustle newsletter, you're making a mistake. You seen it?
I have not. Only what you have told me.
The Hustle, I signed up, first of all, when you'll notice they have a very slick adoption conversion funnel. It's super slick. And they have a somewhat cheeky voice, but everything that lands in your inbox comes across like good journalism from a pretty bright bunch of business writers who also know how to have a personality. And you learn stuff. They write interesting features, and it's millions of light years ahead, I guarantee you, of most of the newsletters out there. On the same note, thanks to Christopher Smith from DaxShepardIsAGenius.com, because I was talking to him, and he also showed me another one, same vein. I think it's called What's Interesting About This? It comes off Substack, and it's done by Noah Breyer and Colin, sorry if I get this right, Nagy. How would you say that, Jay?
Nagy?
And it's called What's Interesting About This? And they hold themselves to their own standards in terms of giving you a lot of value and not using too many words to do it. Sort of in the same trend, there's a publication called Skift, Skift. It's a niche travel publication. And I discovered them because I was researching opportunities for contributed articles from a pretty high profile client that had a lot of love from the media. When I shot to my article, they said, no, thank you. And the more I looked at Skift, the more I realized it was a niche. They were writing all their own content. They didn't want visiting marketers on their platform because all their stuff was based on their own analytics. And that's another thing, in terms of reader value. If you have something hiding in your data that's provocative or interesting, find through there, dig through it and talk about it, because this whole slick magazine they built, and it's really good and readable. It's about travel industry trends and more, is all a very good storefront for all their custom research, which you can buy. And because the content is good, I think that would make the research buy credible. I would also direct you to a company called Process Street. They wrote a blog post the other day that step by step, in great detail, showed the reader how they landed dozens and dozens of guest placements for their thought leaders on other podcasts, blogs, and media outlets. And they broke it down step by step how they did it. I'm like, now that's interesting. And all these examples add up to just a couple things, which is if you're not delivering an insight nobody else can quite deliver, or teach somebody how to do that they couldn't before, or help them think about a problem in a way that they couldn't before, then you do not have the right to waste people's time. And from what I've seen, 85% of the companies today are still out there blogging like it's 2005. But the fact is, there's two problems there. One, it's boring. That's unforgivable. And two, before long, here's my prediction. Somebody in your competitive set is going to fire up an engaging content machine based on people and companies like I just showed you. And if they fire it up before you do, you're going to lose. I guarantee it. Real talk.
I think a lot of these people are already losing it. Nate, you and I swim in very different circles on LinkedIn. And I think that if I go out and follow these things, it would be a little bit more beneficial for me, because I think I get zero value out of anything that comes up in my LinkedIn feed right now at all. The new thing is like these, they're fake, like Good Samaritan videos. Have you seen these things? Like somebody helping somebody cross the street. What does that do? What does that do for me? What does that do for you? Does it get me to look at your profile? No, I'm just like, this is fake. And I just don't want to have anything to do with it. It's infuriating. It really is. And I'm looking to get more out of my LinkedIn partnership, I guess, if that's what I can call it. Because right now it's just me messaging people for jobs. I don't get much out of it otherwise. There's nothing. Great. I'm glad you got a certified Cisco network administrator cert. Congratulations.
Yeah, those are just 4 or 5 group people or organizations who are out there, and it kind of gives me hope, saying if my feed was full of this all day, I would read LinkedIn and be happier about it. Totally. Instead of talking about what's good on LinkedIn 5% of the time and making fun of it the other 95%. I remember what you just said, Jay, reminded me of an argument I got into with a client 6 or 7 years ago for whom I had written a white paper. And this was at the time when, and I think this practice is dying too, which is let's write a white paper. And we put it up, and you can read the white paper if you give us your data, and we'll send you really bad sales emails forever. I was in an argument with the client because I was trying to be the value advocate, and there was a section of it that felt really mushy to me. And like, if we could go back to our client and get them to prove some of these, high level claims they're making, it would be kind of meaty. And we kept going back and forth, and the client finally said to me, Nate, I don't care if anyone reads it. I just want them to download it. I'm like, okay. So that's what I'm doing with my life. Just killing myself to write things that no one will ever read. That's not what I'm doing with my life.
No, what does that do for anybody? And it only serves to waste your time. I don't understand that at all. Don't understand that.
Yep. So yeah, that's why I celebrate the new breed.
Right. Yeah. Make it fun, make it interesting. Don't rehash everything that everyone else is doing. Just because it's working for XYZ company doesn't mean it's going to work for you in the future. It's got to change. Things have to change.
Amen.
Cool. No guest this week, Nate. So we got some other folks lined up for the next coming weeks. It's going to be awesome. So
sorry, man.
Oh, no worries. I got to tell you before, Nate, I'm going to take you to Jamaica with my stock winnings. I'm going to take you to Jamaica after I cash out on all this weight gain powder, bro.
It's not Arby's, dude. That's a good riff. Take it back.
Arby's training video. That's what that.
All right. I'm ready to do outro whenever you are. Do you want to?
Oh, we're doing the outro right now. We're in it.
That's it. Doesn't smell like an outro.
Oh, we're here. Yeah, we're here in the outro. I ate while you were dancing. I actually I bought some stock. So I bought stock in. I couldn't find it though. I bought stock in AMC, American Motor Company. You remember them?
Oh, the horseless carriage.
Yeah, they're still on there.
Good job, Puddinhead.
Unbelievable. Yeah, they're still on there, and it was only like $12. So I bought like 100 shares. It was awesome.
I'm expecting that like by this time next year, you'll be one of those people who has eaten so much colloidal silver that your skin actually turns blue.
Oh man, how rad would that be?
Have you seen that guy?
Yeah, he looks like a Smurf. Like straight up, he's Papa Smurf, right?
Yep.
I love him.
Always follow the money, Jay.
Okay.
This has been tremendous fun. There's only a couple things we'd ever want you to do. Subscribe to the YouTube thing, of course. If you are feeling any of this BS, knock on the door of our LinkedIn group, B2B Morning Zoo. We are the corner of LinkedIn where the water cooler is filled with gin. If you've seen our interview segments, and you like our interview people, you can be one, providing you don't have to ask, permission from 3 levels of buttholes in your company.
Right.
And
Anyone can be on the show.
Reputational damage. Sorry, Jay?
I said anyone can be on the show. If you want to be on the show, just let us know.
Yeah, it's really not that hard.
Totally.
Well,
not as
cool.
hard as not as hard as we make it sound.
Yeah, right. This isn't the Wall Street Journal here, but it is lots of fun, mostly because of you, Jay. Thank you very much.
Wall Street bets, baby, to the moon.
It's a good song.
I said it sounded like the beginning to an Arby's training video. Welcome to your first day at Arby's.